Hello and welcome to Nothing Unlike It, the only podcast that chronicles the FWA via its appearances on television. I am the thorn in your eye, Kieran Lefort, and let's go across the nation to, well, the man with the frog in his throat, Eddie Sideburns. Eddie, how are you?
I'm doing not bad. Well, other than the fact I sound like I have smoked 60 packs of cigarettes in the space of 3 hours, I'm doing not bad. Ready to talk FWA. I'm still good to go, coach. I'm still good to go. Put me in. Put me in. Let's go.
Ready to croak FWA. And he just wants to be loved. Andy Ogden. Andy, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm getting more Scottish by the minute, as I've told you that I've been tasting tinned haggis recently.
Fuck off. I don't know. I was sickened when I heard about it before the show, and I'm still sickened hearing about it now. Stop talking about tinned haggis. It just sounds fucking awful. Oh,
can you recommend him some good stuff so you don't have to put up with this?
I can send him some stuff. And to my Scottish viewers, happy Burns night as of today. Although probably when this comes out, Burns night will be over, and you'll all.
Well, there we go. We are recording on Burns night. So that's the veil drawn back there. Was it our detour to wrestling on Grampian that sent you down this Scottish path, or this high road, if you like, Andy?
I think it might have done, yeah. I think it might have done, pal. Well, I actually saw a bagpipe band the other night playing Roddy Piper's entrance theme on repeat. Didn't just have one song. That's it.
Between your fucking impression of Drew McDonald, the fact you played the High Road theme song for your podcast, me sitting in the corner like I'm not, like fucking Dennis Stamp, I'm not booked, I'm not going to be there, and you're talking all this Scottish shit, and I'm like, what's going on? This is a very Scottish podcast we're becoming. Great, can't wait.
It's only out of love, Eddie, it's only out of love.
Okay.
So we are here, of course, with another 2 episodes from FWA on TWC. We are going to start with episode number 27, as per the FWA files numbering system. This is from October the 8th, 2004. We cold open on the aftermath of last week. So if you remember, Aviv Mayan had just lost to Doug Williams in a match that Alex Shane had removed the title stipulations from. And he was recovering and taking applause, and then Shane's music hit, and we went off the air just as Alex walks through the curtain. So we get the end of that again, as Aviv refuses to leave, despite Quilden and Atkins desperately trying to convince him to go. Alex gets to the ring and tells him he's going to make his death a bit more interesting, but first he's going to give him, well, no, not but first, he's going to make it more interesting by giving him a 10-second head start. He's like, come on, run for me, boy. Aviv defiantly says he's not running, so Alex attacks him, gives him the checkup from the neck up and the one night stand. He goes and grabs a chair, and just as he's about to cave Aviv's skull in, Doug Williams runs back out, slides into the ring and takes the weapon off him. Crowd goes wild for Doug. Shane tells him this is none of his business, and then says this is the second time that Williams has stuck his nose into show stealer business, reminding everyone of Doug's interjection into the Steve Corino situation that we saw back on the first storyline episode of this series. He says he has a 3-strike rule. Corino is number 1, Mayan was number 2. He says you better make sure you don't cross me and make strike 3, Williams. And Doug, having one line to deliver, says strike 3 rule, yeah? And then forearms Alex in the face. Williams makes motions that he wants to fight. Shane squares up to him and then turns and leaves, and we fade into the opening titles. How do we feel about this opening angle?
It's nice to see Doug he's entered the Shane verse now, hasn't he, properly?
Yeah, he's got something to do. Like, he's got a story now. He's not just, trophy champion defending against International Challenger of the Month.
Yeah, it's good for him to step away from spending time in Japan and all across America to kind of get involved in the Alex Shane verse. Again, when Shane was beside Aviv, I just realised again how tall he is compared to Aviv, obviously.
And how small Aviv is. Like, there's legitimately like a foot height difference between them.
Like, between the pair of them, obviously, because obviously I think, did they go across the country and have a match against each other?
Yeah. So Alex would do this a lot with people he was matched up with in the FWA. So when he was opposite the family, he and Travell would go and do matches all over the place. And then he did a few with Jack Xavier outside of FWA. And then Aviv became the project. And we've talked about it before, they did matches from Portsmouth up to East Kilbride, I think.
Yeah.
You know, so they went all over the place doing their match.
And you can see like how that would work so well and how you would easily get a crowd invested in that by simply just having them face each other and see how tall Alex is compared to like Aviv. Same way
it's
with
easy.
Like,
It's giant cocky heel against small baby face. Like it's Taylor's oldest time.
It's like it just brought back memories of like 1PW when you would have Abyss and Spud and stuff like that, and it'd be like a really tall guy against a really small like babyface underdog, and Doug punching Shane in the face was great. I loved that. Just forearm and just go for it. But we're here.
I think it was. It might even have been Alex. I heard him talking about that. Someone was saying like, got to make sure you bump for Doug, and he's like, if Doug hits you, you don't have to bump for him. You're going down whether you want to or not. I like this. This is a good angle. Up till this point, I discovered Doug Williams and Alex Shane have never had a match of any kind in the FWA. And honestly, despite doing the rounds together for about a decade, they've had precious little ring interaction at all. Like they started out in Hammerlock together, and like there's a few kind of like, there might have been a tag or two, and there were a couple of battle royals, but they've never had a one-on-one match.
And I don't think they would ever touched in the UWA, would they? Because they're around.
No, they didn't. No, see, that's another place they were together and didn't interact at all.
The lighting on this stage, when it's the bit where Doug's raising Aviv's hand and Shane's on the stage, and it's obviously that red light, did make Shane very much look like the devil and very much like the bad guy. So I really enjoyed that kind of framing.
It was either a coincidence or it was planned. Who knows? I can't remember. So we go through the opening titles, and then a slightly overexposed and out of focus John Atkins is in the void, and he's excited about what we've just seen. He plugs the packed hour we've got this week with highlights of Jack Xavier versus Show Stealer Securities, Martin Stone coming up, and a main event of Curt Cabana versus James Ty. But first, it's the first title defense for our new tag team champions, Hampton Court, as they put their belts on the line against Stevie Knight and his new partner.
Ooh, there was a lot of day glow going on in this match, wasn't there?
So we go back to Morecambe, and Stevie's in the ring with a luridly dressed fellow. Knight talks about his fortunes in the ring, how he used to be this hot prospect but was forced to retire due to a neck injury, and he hasn't been doing so well since coming back, even losing to a woman last time he was in Morecambe. He explains that he's embarked on a quest to regain the tag team title that he once held with Alex Shane, and despite useless George Castano failing him previously, he has found a new partner, and his name is... And his new partner grabs the mic and launches into the Mr. Who Kissed Your Sister routine, for yes, it is indeed Dirk Feelgood. He only gets halfway through. I did like, it was John Atkins' sister he kissed, apparently, and John looked very surprised about this. So he gets halfway through his routine when Stevie snatches the mic back and tells him, I'm the star here, not you. What's your name? And Feelgood tries a couple of times to tell him it's Dirk. And Knight's like, what? Dick? And Dirk goes, no, it's Dirk Feelgood. Look, it says so on my tights. So we get through all this routine. And out come Simmons and the Duke of Danger, and they do a comedy entrance with Duke chastising Simmons for forgetting his belt, so he scurries backstage to get it, and of course gets a second pop when he comes back out with the belt. Tony Giles has returned to commentary, and Nick London quizzes him on what he was up to in the US, given that he managed to stay. His thing was he say, he's like, you were away in the US for over a week, what were you up to given that you managed to sign Steve Corino versus Alex Shane on day one? And Tony was like, I wasn't on holiday. He's like, I'll have a big announcement concerning British Uprising 3 later on. We're sowing the seeds. So Duke and Stevie start out. They trade basics. Simmons tags in, and after kung fu kicking Knight's arm, finds himself getting pulled into the ropes by the ear and having his chest battered with forearms. Despite Simmons pinching him on the arse as he tries to reverse a hammerlock, Knight comes out on top, especially once Dirk helps him from the apron. Dirk tags in and goes to work on Simmons as we go to the break. I hope you are ready for the Nnnnnnnduprising ad bumpers, as I think there's one in every single ad break between now and Uprising itself.
Talk about overkill there, Mr. Lefort.
Well, so don't forget, there would be a 3 or 4 minute ad break, 3 or 4 minutes of ads between the fade to black and coming back to the show. And it was basically free advertising. Like I put it on, I've talked about this before. I put it on I'm pretty sure this isn't legal when it comes to TV, but I put it on the advert side of the buffer. So it looked like it was part of the ad break rather than part of the show, but it counted as part of the show runtime. Yeah, so including this episode, there's 6 TVs until Uprising with 3 breaks in each. So that is 18 times you're going to have to hear this between now and then.
It's like the monster truck bit where it's like Sunday, and it's just consistently in every bit.
We're hammering. Look, we're trying to sell as many tickets as possible. It's the biggest FWA show of all time.
You're just trying to remind people that instead of monster trucks to kill each other, it's Uprising 3.
Absolutely, yeah.
Can I just quickly say as well, the Feelgood Knights, I love this team. I desperately wanted to keep this team. I was so heartbroken that this was, that obviously, and we'll talk about it a bit more, what develops from this. My God, these two are comedy gold. I loved it. And I normally don't like comedy, but this was, yes, so happy.
Yeah, they were good together. It is a shame that this is one and done.
Oh.
Yeah. So when we come back, the heels are using dirty tactics to double up on the butler. Simmons comes back by jumping on Knight's toes and using a stalling suplex. Knight does a Hulk up for some reason, but Simmons just decks him. Feelgood cuts Simmons off by shoving him into the ring post, and we get a flash of the old UWA Stevie Knight as he gets a near fall off a gut wrench powerbomb. Dirk tries his luck with a sleeper, a drop kick, and a double rope run corner splash. Simmons, though, comes back with a quadruple rope run corner splash, and finally tags Duke. Duke, in his first main spot of the match, almost falls on his face, leaping into the ring over the top rope. And he fires off clotheslines and slams all over the place. Stevie gets pinned to the floor. Dirk feels the brunt of a double arm suplex and the scoundrel smasher sit out powerbomb, and then Simmons takes the tag, delivers the Butler Buster, and gets the win. I called this basic but well executed. Like, there's lots of... What I haven't talked about is there are a lot of comedic flourishes around all of the moves that are very hard to describe in an audio medium. Like, this is much better to watch than to listen to. I guess with every wrestling match, it's much better to watch than to listen to someone talk about, because they do things I can't accurately describe. My complaint would be, after Duke tags Simmons for the finish, he just goes and stands in the same corner that Simmons is doing the move off, even blocking the hard camera. I guess it's fine that they don't have a tag finisher, but he doesn't even go and pick Dirk up to put him in Simmons' path. Instead, we all just have to wait for Dirk to stop selling the powerbomb and get up and go and coincidentally stand in the right place to take another move for the finish.
I thought myself it was, I think, like you said, a bit of a basic tag match, but the dynamic of both teams, it's very similar, isn't it? You got the straight man and you got the comedy guy. And if in as much as you can call Stevie Knight a straight man, he's only a straight man by association with Dirk Feelgood, isn't he? Yeah. But one thing I didn't get is, when they're doing a hot tag and it's Duke of Danger getting the hot tag more than Simmons. I think it should be the other way around, because Simmons is the big star to jump in.
The problem is... Simmons is the one who can do everything.
Yeah.
Like, outside of the act, I'm very sorry, Dane, he's not a good wrestler.
No.
And every time we've seen him, he's been shown up in the ring.
Yeah, he's probably worst of the 4 in this match, because
I think he is.
Yeah. Stevie Knight's excellent, isn't he, on the mic and in ring. Dirk's got his character. Straight away, he's doing that opening spiel, and he got to today's wrestling, someone does that and instantly the fucking WWE champion, aren't they?
The cheating happening in front of the ref was a bit, I didn't like it as much sometimes. I thought it was quite fun. I do agree with, I think, he's a cat, and the Duke is a character, and I think I've said it before, better at being maybe a manager, not a wrestler. There's just, when the bell rings, it's just plain, and it's nothing of real kind of stands out, really. Simmons. Yeah, Simmons is good. As I said, the Feelgood Knights. That's what I'm calling them. That's what I'm going with. They were really funny.
If only you'd been there 20 years ago to call them that and convince them to stay together.
Yeah, don't worry about teaming up with insert name later on. Just these two. But yeah, I thought it was a fun match. I thought it did what it needed to do.
Yeah, it's not offensive. It's fine.
Yeah, you're not gonna think like it's not like that match with Saraya against whoever it was, and it was like -5 stars. Shit, this is just kind of fun, basic to the point kind of stuff.
Yeah. After the match, we see a little bit of Stevie berating Dirk for getting pinned. And then 1, 2, 3, fire. I'm not shouting that loudly. I can't be bothered. Countdown to Carino. 2 weeks remain.
I've put, what is an app that will be relevant in the future, Steve? TikTok. I love this, by the way. Just want to say, Countdown to Carino. Great stuff, Kieran. I loved it.
We gotta. I've said it before. The philosophy I developed was, I've got you watching this week. How can I get you watching again next week?
I'm there next week, mate. I'm there next week. And maybe because I've got a podcast on it, I'm still going to be there regardless.
I hope you come back for the next episode. That'd be very beneficial for us. So we cut to a pink dressing room, so that'd be Broxbourne, and James Ty has something to say. He says he's fighting another American because the FWA just can't find the talent in the UK and they need to fly it in. He says he's beaten Christopher Daniels, Paul London and AJ Styles, and Cabana will be joining them on the heap tonight. He's there. He says he's there to wrestle, not laugh at Colt's comedy shenanigans, and he'll wipe the smile off Cabana's face. Generic but serviceable. I had to check that he had actually beaten Christopher Daniels. Yes, August the 4th, 2003 in Cleethorpes.
Jesus.
A purple vortex and a large logo have filled John's void as he is here with an Uprising update. He says, as he says, you can buy tickets from the Wrestling Channel website from this coming Tuesday. A graphic comes up on the screen to say that allocation has already sold out. Clearly, we didn't know this was going to happen when we recorded it. He announces Hampton Court versus Stevie Knight and Mark Sloan. Yes, the next generation three-way dance of Ross Jordan versus Aviv Mayan versus Spud, Jack Xavier versus Hayde Vanson, last man standing for the All England title, and Alex Shane versus Doug Williams for the FWA title, with the added stipulation that if Shane loses, he must fight the boxer Danny Williams. All of these come with the caveat that you need to stay tuned over the coming weeks to see the events that led to these matches. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. The TV is on average 2 months behind what's happening in the real world. So we've got to sell a supercard without most of the build-up having aired yet.
I was sat there watching this and like, John, why should I bother watching the next couple of months? Because you've spoke what's going to happen.
So we've seen the first angle that would naturally lead to Alex Shane versus Doug Williams.
Yeah.
Xavier and Vanson have been fighting the whole season.
They have, yeah.
The three-way dance is just Flippy Boys in the opener. The only one that's really a spoiler is the tag title match.
And Danny Williams as well, even though they mentioned that 2 or 3
Yeah,
weeks
so we saw
before
clips of the
then.
angle.
Yeah.
We saw clips of the angle. We will get to see it in video form soon.
Yeah.
It is slightly annoying that we can't just go in chronological order. We have to, I don't know, maybe some of this should have been saved. Some of this information should have been saved for next week because more of this becomes apparent next week.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the TWC ticket allocation was, but the FWA must have been doing something right if they'd all been sold in the 3 days between them going on sale and this airing. John also says your next chance to see the FWA live is Uprising. Hot Wired was the last live show. That was the beginning of September and airs at this airs at the beginning of October and Uprising is mid-November. So the TV and the website have to carry the promotion for 10 weeks leading into the biggest show in company history, which feels a bit precarious to me. It gives the TV a chance to catch up, but I don't know. It doesn't feel right that the Go Home live show was 10 weeks before the pay-per-view, if you like. Maybe that's just how we've been conditioned to the pay-per-view cycle of wrestling.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels very odd. So, flashback to 2 weeks ago as we are reminded of Hayde Vance and Jack Xavier going to a double knockout over the All England title. Andy's shaking his head already. We then go to Jack Xavier outside the building by the rubbish for some reason, with the right white balance on the wrong setting. He's very blue.
My note on this segment was Jack meeting the rest of his friends in the bin. Where they were shouty promo, rubbish.
Yeah, he throws some shit around and he rants about Hayde Vance in the voice that is still acting angry. And has just seen, he looks like he's just seen the sign that says, please treat our neighbours with respect and leave quietly outside the building before doing this promo.
He very much hates the things you get in shopping centres with the breads in, because he just keeps kicking.
Oh, it's the, yeah. There's a couple of those plastic bread baskets, aren't there? And he just keeps picking up and throwing them into this bin.
I've put Hayde Vanson, what's wrong, all in capital letters. He really hates bread baskets, does Jack Xavier, because he just keeps kicking the shit out of it.
Yes, he does.
And it made me think of that bit where, like, the bit in Lord of the Rings where Aragorn kicks the bucket. It's like, imagine if he'd broken his foot on kicking one of them.
We'd have still used that take. He's
Get the loud scream.
Gluten intolerant Jack Xavier going on a war against bread. This is, unfortunately for him, this is more generic than Ty's promo. He just sort of whisper yells about the title belonging to him, and I'm sure Andy punched the air when he saw the sign come up on screen that said Jack Xavier in action up next.
Change channel.
So in the void, John cues up highlights of Jack Xavier versus Martin Stone and also tells us they'll be on opposing sides of a 6-man tag next week. He says this match is Alex Shane and Hayde Vanson's way of launching a preemptive strike ahead of next week's 6-man contest. He then throws to the commentator, and the first line out of Tony Giles' mouth is, surely this is a preemptive strike ahead of next week's 6-man contest. Lefort Quality Control Department in action. So we get highlights of Jack Xavier versus Martin Stone from September the 4th, 2004 at the Morecambe Dome. Why, may you ask, is this just highlights? Well, I had 2 more important matches, the main angle to lead into Uprising and Uprising Update and other stuff to fit into this show. And also, they botched something so badly on the outside that I couldn't rescue it in the edit or hide it in the ad break or cut it out without the join being obvious. Alex Shane had a fucking moan about this. Well, is it just highlights? And so I showed him the botch and he's like, oh, yeah, all right, highlights it is.
Oh, God. Martin Stone, who apparently eats children, according to Nick London here.
He looks like he's eating a fucking fridge. He's square with a head on top. He looks like a fridge with a watermelon on the top.
And is this his first appearance in ring, or we've seen him before? We've seen him in the crowd.
This is his first match in the FWA. He'd been wrestling about a year at this point. I think he was another one from the Dropkick School.
Okay.
Which was Tony Scarlow's school in London. 2 or 3 years after this, he'd be one of the bigger names and better workers in the country. He would be the LDN and IPW UK champion at the same time. And then shortly after that, hold the IPW and RQW titles at the same time. 2 out of the 3 of those companies had regular TV on the wrestling channel. And the third one was the hottest indie in the country. And throughout all of that, he would also be FWA Tag Team Champions with Styx. And they, in fact, would be the last ever FWA Tag Champs, with the belts being declared inactive at the end of 2006.
If you saw him for the first time, you would think like that guy from fucking WrestleMania where he goes, how much does this guy weigh? And then you look at like now, and apparently he's like 190 pounds. What the fuck is happening?
Oh, his body very much changed over time. Like, again, as I said, even once you get to like 2 or 3 years later and like he's shaved his head and he's changed his body shape completely. So this is the guy who he previously was Joe Riot and would become Danny Burch / Danny Briggs in the US. He was in NXT between 2013 and 2021.
Yeah.
He was even NXT Tag Team Champions and appeared in a War Games. That's 3 facts in a row that shocked me. He has lived in Florida for a long time now, and he still wrestles on Florida Indies.
And he was in the same match as Baron Corbin on that AEW Dark match in Orlando.
Oh, was he? Oh, yes. There we go.
Yeah. Plus, as well, I saw him teaming with Only Lorcan in WXW, and I shouted, "Come on, Martin!" And he said, "My name's Danny, not Martin," and then continued wrestling.
What's your passport say?
Oh, wrestlers, they all stupid names. The fact only Lorcan is a name, fuck's sake, who fucking came up
I
with
keep
that?
pronouncing it Oney. So after all that, in this match, he is essentially the FWA's Ahmed Johnson. He's clearly very strong and can do some stuff, but he's green and reckless, and he is hitting Jack Xavier way too hard. There is a clothesline that made me burst out laughing when I first saw it because it seemed so unnecessarily violent. But again, there is not much of this at all. It's 2 minutes, if that, of highlights, maybe. Jack does a nice corner-to-corner tope that sends them both up the aisle, and then he hits a poorly executed X-Plex on one of the 3 moves called the Xaviator and gets the pin. And we go from that into a quick hype video for the 6-man set to Stand Easy, and that will be up next week.
In hindsight, you probably shouldn't have shown this match if it was only 2 minutes long.
I don't know why it had to be on TV. There may have been some sort of order that it had to be on TV, or that the other 2 matches together didn't make... Again, remember, 45 minutes to the frame, right? It may be that everything else, once it all added up, even if I'd left in everything from the other 2 matches, wouldn't have made 45 minutes.
Could have just John do a song to camera, couldn't you? Like, that's how the ukulele.
Jesus Christ.
He gets out this very small Hawaiian guitar and says, I've been practicing something. I've just taken up this new instrument.
Dive to the entranceway was good. I enjoyed that. Other than that, just the highlights package. Okay.
Yeah. It really is just a setup for next week, that's all.
Yeah, you've got to have something if you're going to kind of develop it instead of just, John Atkins shouting at you that stuff's happening. So
yeah. So we go back to the pink dressing room. Curt Cabana does a riff on the Fresh Prince and says he doesn't like ties, anything to win attitude. He says James will have to pull a fast one if he wants to win, and that he's bringing the American style to the FWA. Ironic, because this is 3 days into the tour that started his love affair with old British wrestling and led to him using more of that style back in the US. And what's he more known for now? Using old British wrestling. I shot this. This was the second take. I made him do another one after his first one was all about how he picked up Cogney rhyming slang on the streets of Morecambe, and I told him he absolutely fucking didn't, and this is what we got instead.
Jesus.
Quickie in John's black hole as he sets up Colt's return and reminds us of James using controversial means to beat AJ Styles. And then September the 4th, 2004, in the Morecambe Dome, it is James Ty versus Curt Cabana.
That line then, a Quickie in John's black.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Ooh,
yeah.
Ooh, matron.
I had to look. How old do you think each man is here?
Cabana and Ty. Oh, interesting.
Early 20s. 23, Curt Cabana.
Mm-hmm.
James Ty. Oh, God. 22.
Any advances on that, Mr. Sideburns?
21 for James Ty. 20 for Cabana.
Jesus Christ. Well, Andy wins half a speedboat. James Ty is in fact 22. Cabana is 24.
Oh, well, there we go. My brain The music to the promo behind Curt Cabana. I liked it. Kind of nice silk jazz.
I think that's his FWA entrance theme.
Oh, I like doing that kind of stuff. That stuff's kind of quite cool when that happens.
Colt starts with like the matador handshake, so he slowly moves his hand away from James as he approaches, and he gets slapped for it. He stands up to a couple of shoulder tackles and then invites James to go for a third, trips him up as he passes. He also dodges a charge that sends Ty tumbling out to the floor, and James is getting angry at being made to look an idiot by this imported clown. Back inside, Colt trips James again and surfs on his back before clamping on a headlock and slowing the charging bull down. There's lots of nice, good quality technical wrestling, lots of holds and reversals. Cabana mostly works the arm until Ty manages to quicken the pace by holding the ropes to block an arm drag and hits the drop salt, and we sharply cut to break with no fade out, so Lefort quality control strikes again. When we come back, James is working over the head and neck area. This is when Tony on comms drops his bombshell that he has secured the services of AJ Styles for Uprising 3, and it will be a rematch against James Ty in a 30-minute Iron Man match. In the ring, the action speeds up with James escaping a sunset flip and dropping an elbow, but Colt catches the elbow and slickly rolls it into a crucifix for a near fall. They struggle a bit over a backslide, and Ty manages to spin it out into a reverse neck breaker and takes control of Kurt's head again. Kurt? Who the fuck's Kurt? Colt's head again. Curt Cabana. That's the Yorkshire version. Colt foils the TIE fighter by running James back into a corner and then connects with a drop kick off the middle turnbuckle, and they double down. They end up in opposite corners, and Ty charges with a running double axe handle that Colt ducks under and rolls him up for 2. He gets another off a sunset flip and then slams home some forearms and a bionic elbow. Cabana with a flying head scissors, a double knee crush in the corner, and a snap suplex with float over pin, but James kicks out. Colt heads up top and loudly suggests he's going for a frog splash. Unfortunately, James Ty has ears and cuts him off, and after a battle up the top, brings Cabana back in with a cravat superplex. He can only drape an arm over those to cover, and Colt kicks out. We get some titty mist off Ty as they trade hard overhand chops. Colt escapes the Titanic, James escapes the Colt 45 and goes into a fireman's carry with a bridging clutch for the pin. Good action, but I think James should have won dirtier. Like, this was crying out for feet on the ropes or a handful of tights to help move along the anything for a win story. I'd even go for beating the clown at his own game by tying his bootlace to something and winning by count out outside. Granted, you don't see this style of pin very often, let alone winning a match, but I think much like the win over Ross Jordan, it was too clean for the type of wrestler we're now being told James Ty is.
Yeah.
3 stars.
I'm gonna cut off Andy because I know Andy's gonna have a lot to say about something that was announced during this, because he's obviously over the moon about it. So I was watching this and I got a phone call from my girlfriend, and I turned the camera on to show her what I was watching, and she said the ring apron looks like someone's carpet, and I couldn't stop laughing that people were just wrestling on what looked like someone's rug during this. I thought it was okay. The finish came out of nowhere. I liked it because neither hit their proper finisher because they were both trying to go for it. 30 minutes of a James Ty match. Oh dear, Andy. I'm sure he's incredibly over the moon about that. I do agree with you. I think obviously we've seen James Ty do some heelish stuff, but it seems like he's holding a little bit back before going kind of full trigger on it. And yeah, kind of beating the... Because obviously he talks about, I'm here to wrestle, I'm not here to do this, any of this comedy shenanigans in the promo beforehand. You kind of think, okay. But yeah, it was all right. Nothing special. I would go with you.
Light the fuse on, Andy. Off you go.
Right. I went 2.5 on this match out of 5. My final note on it was tidy wrestling from both, but Ty is still a charisma vacuum, and even that's offensive to Hoovers. But I know they announced the Iron Man match, haven't they?
Yep.
Got a lot of work on there, haven't they? Back in the day, AJ Styles, to get something out of him, out of Mr. Ty.
I haven't seen it for a very long time, so I can't remember how it goes. But technically and mechanically, they'll be fine because they're both like very good, like mechanical wrestlers. I guess the stipulation is so if James gets or if one of them gets disqualified, it's not the end of the match. But because these are 2 technical wrestlers, you can't put them in a no DQ style stipulation match because that doesn't suit their characters. Like, these 2 shouldn't have a street fight, shouldn't have a strap match, shouldn't have a cage match or anything like that. So it's got to be something where a disqualification doesn't mean what it means in the previous match.
Yeah, it needs a lot of shithousery from Ty, doesn't it? Along the way, you'd sort of hope so, but I think as Mr. Sideburns said, I'm not looking forward to 30 minutes of him. No,
just be thankful they didn't go 60.
Oh God!
How to end a podcast in one small smooth move with that, if that happened. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I agree with you. I kind of come back to that. You are correct. It does need, because you could do like, you couldn't even do an Iron Man match. Well, yeah, fair Iron Man match, sorry. You couldn't do like 2 or 3 falls, because then you could involve some with a disqualification.
Yeah.
So, and they are supposed to be like, you know, technical wrestlers, and obviously from the thing at the beginning, you know, he did cheat AJ out, so gotta kind of do that.
Yeah. So one last Atkins segment, as he calls it, another sneaky win. He plugs next week's great wrestling action of Jack Xavier, Aviv Mayan and Ross Jordan versus Hayde Vanson, Styx and Martin Stone, plus Doug Williams versus a mystery wrestler hired by Alex Shane, and we close with a quick ad for Uprising tickets. I really felt the wrestling took a backseat to the stories in the Uprising 3 hype train on this episode. But the 2 matches are fine, and there was a lot going on with all the announcements and stuff, so I thought this cracked along at a hell of a pace this episode. Xavier and Stone doesn't really count as a match, but as I said earlier, I think it's fine enough as a springboard to help hype up the 6-man for next week.
Yeah, as a build-up episode to matches in the future, it served its purpose, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it is. It's it's not a milestone episode, is it? It's an along the way episode.
Yeah. Plus, I'm happy to see Stevie Knight again. Love him on whatever he's been on. I've always enjoyed his shtick. Episode
28 airs October the 15th, 2004. Cold open. Mark Sloan is training with / torturing one of the entourage in the ring. This is Ollie Burns, who would go on to become Priscilla, Queen of the Ring. Stevie Knight enters the hall. He is late after a night out. He is boasting about pulling some rotten bird. I also apparently was doing a terrible job of blurring out a poster for a Humpty Dumpty Panto on the wall. I don't know why he didn't just take it down and put it back up again when we'd finished. But Stevie says he's here, he's ready to train, as Mark Sloan and Tyrone Johnson shake their heads. Some of the framing on this is rough and the sound is terrible, but there is more to come in which the framing and the sound improve. Opening titles, and then Overexposed John Atkins is not real and cannot hurt you, but he can run down today's show, which will see Doug Williams defend his FWA title against Shane's mystery assassin in the main event. But first, it's 6-man tag team action. And the bit I liked is any time Atkins has referred to the babyface team, he always calls them friends. It's Jack Xavier with his friends Aviv Mayan and Ross Jordan, as opposed to the implied business arrangement among the heels. So the match is, as we've said, Hayde Vanson, Styx and Martin Stone versus Jack Xavier, Ross Jordan and Aviv Mayan. This is from Hotwired on September the 5th, 2004. John is, because we are now bereft of Jane Childs as ring announcer, John teleports from the void to the ring, where Hayde forces him to introduce him as the Midnight Sinner, the Ladykiller, the super sexy South City Thriller, which John looks thrilled about having to do. Rejoice, for Jack Xavier has new serious music. He is no longer our saviour. He has a rusty music rock anthem. This is one that was never released and only exists in Ralph's archive. This never appeared anywhere. For the start, Vanson stands on the middle turnbuckle and Styx and Stone form a wall between him and Jack Xavier. The opening spot between Styx and Aviv is good stuff. It's Styx being the big strong heel against Aviv, the small fast babyface. Styx, though, gets complacent. Aviv suckers him into moving quickly, eventually taking him over with a drop toe hold and a Hurricane Rana. They double tag out to Vanson and Xavier, and Hayde wants no part of Jack, casually tagging back out to Martin Stone. Stone again acts as a barrier, and when Xavier turns his back to be like, "Can you believe this dickhead?" to his corner, Vanson rushes over, knocks him down from behind, and then Linsky calls 2 men slapping hands inside the ring a legal tag. I'm sure Eddie was very calm about this.
Linsky. I was doing good without him, and then he appeared again, and then I was like,
Yeah. Hayde traps Jack in the ropes and batters him with forearms. Xavier reverses, gives some back, forcing Hayde to powder and talk strategy with his partners. Stone tags back in despite standing on the floor, and Ross comes in for the goodies. Jordan gets the better of some rope running, flinging Martin around with a flying head scissors and an arm drag. He then tries a Rana, and Stone fucking skins him alive with a power bomb. It is a light switch. He goes down so fast. Oh. So what I mean, Ahmed Johnson is just sort of unnecessarily violent. Styx tags in, and Nick London goes from talking about how Ross Jordan primarily competes in lighter divisions, so he's not used to heavyweight opponents, to how Styx, who is much bigger, is his nemesis and they fight up and down the country. Which one is it? Styx and Vanson work over Ross, spiced up by Hayes trying to antagonise the baby faces on the apron. So earlier, he'd clocked an unsuspecting Aviv with a back elbow. Here, he tries the same to Xavier, but Jack dodges and the crowd give him the treatment. Hayes clobbers Jordan with the pointless forward roll into tornado forearm move and brings Stone back in, to which I wrote, I'm sure Ross is delighted to see him again after that powerbomb. Stone with a violent forearm out of the ropes and a snap suplex, and then when Ross's springboard crossbody comeback fails, spikes in with a DDT. Aviv breaking up the pin causes Linsky to remonstrate with him, missing Hayes coming in without a tag and stomping the shit out of Ross. And Ross continues getting a pasting as we go into the break. When we come back, Hayes is crushing Jordan in this tight headlock as commentary ponder if Hayes has paid for the services of Styx and Stone, or if his good friend Alex Shane has loaned his staff out of the goodness of his heart. We are also told that before Steve Corino gets to fight Alex Shane, he will have to have a match with Hayes Vanson. So Vanson hits a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, and when he hauls Jordan up to add another hit to his combo meter, Jordan slips out the back and hits Nightmare on Sing Street. Each man struggles to their corner, double tag, and it's Xavier versus Styx to start the home stretch. Clotheslines for Styx and Stone. Styx gets backdropped, Stone gets slammed. Xavier grabs Stone in reverse DDT position, but Styx lariats him for the save. Aviv gets rid of Styx with a flying body press, only to be clotheslined out of his boots by Martin Stone. Jordan dispatches Stone with a dropkick off the top, but Vanson creases him with a high-angle Blue Thunder that Ross takes on the back of his neck, and he looks like he knees himself in both eye sockets. This is another horrifically violent move in this match. Again, to poor Ross Jordan. Vanson celebrates, but turns around into the face of an angry Jack Xavier. Xavier goes to town with forearms and shoots Hayes into the ropes. Jack ducks too early, and holy Super Mario Brothers Tony, Hayes just leaps into the air and double stomps him square in the back and lands on his feet afterwards. Vanson beats up Jack in a corner but gets caught and powerbombed. The security lads come to the rescue, dragging Hayes to the safety of the floor, where it turns out it's not very safe after all, as Jack drops the lot of them with a somersault dive off the top. Styx and Stone stagger to opposite sides of the ring, only to be met with Jordan just hurling himself over the ropes at Stone, and Aviv taking Styx down with the slingshot Rana. So Hayden and Jack get back in and duck each other's big boot attempts. They end up hooking arms on simultaneous clothesline, which Xavier is able to parlay into a series of back elbows to Vanson's head and then hooks him for the X-Plex. He gets halfway up and then Styx steams in and clatters the whole affair with a spear mid-move. Every time I watch this, I am shocked that Hayes Vanson doesn't land directly on his own forehead. Mayan hits his round-the-world reverse DDT on Styx, but takes too long going for the Aviva Las Vegas double jump moonsault. Styx gets to his feet, catches him in midair, and ruins him with a falling power slam. Linsky, giving up caring who's legal, and Ross has to break the pin. Stone then breaks up Jordan's pin on Styx after his flying implant DDT out of the corner and practically hurls him out the ring with a half-and-half suplex as Tony Charles yells, "Someone give that man a CAT scan." I wrote, I think Ross Jordan is made of rubber and magic. Jack gets the jackliner on Stone, but while he's down, Hayes comes in with a diving headbutt off the top. "It's all over," shouts Hayes as he grabs Jack for the South City Driller, implant DDT version, but Xavier spins out, staggers to the corner, catches Hayes with a kick as he comes in and hits the rolling release X-Plex for the pin. There's a great pop for this. Tony talks about how Xavier is going to be the new All England champion come Uprising, and Nick tempers him by saying that was only a count of 3 and he's going to have to keep Hayes down for a 10 count in their last man standing match.
Well. I know I'm known for overrating matches, but 3.5 stars out of 5. This one, this was fucking great as a TV match. Didn't outlast its welcome, and there was no spots in the match where there was no one in the ring. It was just like constantly another person comes in, bang, bang, bang. It's
the beauty of six-mans.
Yeah.
Like you could just everybody is able to keep like fresh enough to keep the action going.
Yeah, I know we mentioned earlier about it was only that like 2-minute highlight match with Martin Stone, but you could tell more in this match that he's got potential, hasn't he, to, you know, move on, which we know he does. But
for some reason, I had thought of him as like a clumsy botched machine whenever he was in this match. But watching it again this time, that really wasn't the case. Like, you're right. This is where he starts to show something.
It's very much a bit like the Burchill formula. There's like a rough diamond there who's doing all these power moves. Obviously, Burchill were a bit more polished, but yeah, could see him easily in that sort of role. You took the words out of my mouth, Kieran, with the "Holy Super Mario Brothers, Tony!" Shout from fucking Nick London. I thought, come on, mate, in the bin. Yeah, but really good match.
Yeah, I really like this. Jack Xavier didn't get the memo about getting wrestling gear in sync color with Mayan and Jordan.
I did notice that his usual T-shirt has disappeared and he's just wearing an FWA shirt, so maybe he forgot to pack it.
And then I didn't realise that someone could use the phrase mint saucing, because that got brought up at one point.
Oh, yes. It's Nick London makes a series of absolutely terrible Welsh jokes throughout this match, doesn't he? That might be the best of them.
Yeah, Nick London having a go at Vive with Wellington boots after visiting his girlfriend and his uncle Dobby. And then, by the way, there was a powerbomb from Martin Stone on Ross Jordan. Holy shit, I fucking thought that boy was dead.
It's so brutal, isn't it?
It's like he's just with like no consequences. Whatever's going to happen to him, just down you go, and that was it.
I'm pretty sure if you played it back frame by frame, like one frame he would be in the air, the next one he would be imprinted in the mat.
Yeah, I thought this was a really, really decent match. I would probably go 3.25, 3.5. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. It's not the best match, but for a long time, this was my favourite match I'd ever put on FWA TV. I think it works really well. Everybody looks good. I tried to put as much of it as possible on television, and it is 100% uncut and without commentary because I exported the wrong track on the Best of TV DVD. I think it's better than 3.5, but it's not good enough to be 3.75, so I'm going 3 2/3.
Okay.
Which I'm just making up as I go along. Yeah, this is a good match. I like it a lot.
I'd also say it's nice to see Aviv Mayan on the winning team for a change because he's obviously been getting his ass handed to him. Aid Vanson as well. I'm becoming more and more of a fan, as I mentioned.
Oh, yeah. Time. Okay. Countdown to Carino. 1 week remains. Back to the Mark Sloan training session, and we see him, Ollie Burns, and is that a very young Joey Hayes?
Might have been, yeah.
In the ring, in his Puma t-shirt. Sloan is trying to explain how the air raid crash over the knee works, and Ollie demonstrates it on Joey. The camera swings around to Tyrone Johnson, who says, "Did you get that, Steve?" And then the camera carries on to Stevie in the corner, who is lighting a cigarette. Tyrone asks Steve what he thinks he's doing, and Knight replies he is Stevie Knight, 14-year wrestling veteran. And Tyrone says, "It's not about who you think you are, it's about who you are now, and that Stevie needs to get his head in the game." And Stevie gets up and he backs Tyrone down, and then he takes a drag off his cigarette and flicks the ash into Mark's entourage bucket.
Kieran. This just reminded me of Roy Knight to Davy Richards.
This is 3 years before that.
I know.
This is the prelude to Davy Richards' 4 years. Guess I'm taking the reins, kid. I thought exactly the same. Me and Andy were on the same wavelength because we both pointed to each other. It's so fun anytime anyone says their name and how long they've been wrestling, and all I can think about is Zebra Kid and Davy Richards.
I'm very glad you found extra entertainment in this segment.
Him lighting the cigarette in the corner and then like putting it in the bucket that he's got or whatever. I enjoy Stevie Knight is a good bit of these segments. I was thinking, I think I said at the beginning, Mark Sloan looks like he's living out his Stu Hart dreams in these segments.
Mark lived out his Stu Hart dreams every day, torturing people in that industrial unit in Portsmouth.
The Sloan dungeon, and there's tapes of kids of trainees screaming.
Eddie. I would say about the bin that he put the cig in.
Yeah.
Fucking in Mark Sloan's speed bump colours as well, so some merchandise idea there.
I don't think we ever sold them at the merch table.
Oh.
So Nick London is now in the Vortex for a British Uprising update. This was definitely filmed in my dining room. He looks out of focus. He basically just confirms all the stuff we were told last week. Jordan versus Mayan versus Spud, Knight and Sloan versus Hampton Court for the tag belts, Ty versus AJ 30-minute Iron Man, Xavier versus Vanson, Last Man Standing, Shane versus Williams. He also adds that Alex versus Doug will be a one full match. Andy, put your shirt back on. And a caption gives us the info that Spud will make his TV debut against James Ty in 2 weeks. Another caption appears that says tickets are now only available from the Skydome box office phone number. Back to the training, and Mark is explaining how Stevie might get caught in a wrist lock, and he shows him a way to escape from the one that Joey has on him. I like Tyrone in the corner repeating little bits of Sloane's explanation. Block that leg, keep that pressure. So Stevie steps in to give it a try, but he twists the wrong way and puts himself in more trouble, and he goes to poke Joey in the eyes, but Sloane catches his hand. How many times have we told you, says Tyrone, it's about technique. This annoys Stevie and he moves towards Tyrone to argue, but Joey still has the wrist lock on. So and Stevie, this cracks me up every time. Stevie just goes, ow, turns around, pokes him in the eye anyway to get him to let go. Sloane and Johnson hang their heads and Mark says, look, Steve, I don't think this is going to work. You stick to cutting the promos. And Stevie interrupts. He's like, listen, we can make this work. I've got some great ideas. Let's go for a beer at the bar and we can talk it over. Plus, he says, he's got, quote, a real nice bird in the bar just for Mark. And the bit I only heard for the first time this time round was, I know that's all new to you, but I'll talk you through it. A caption says we'll see them in action next week. This is the best one of these 3 segments on this show. There is at least one more to come, which I think is on the next episode. Believe it or not, noted comedian Mark Sloan came up with most of this stuff.
Oh.
We shot them all back to back in before the doors opened on September the 4th.
Nick London quickly, I thought he had this. There's something about Mary kind of hairstyle with the way his hair was kind of stuck up like that.
Yes. We've had the website plug where he is fixing his hair in the women's toilet, haven't we? Like that was a few months ago. Yeah. Same shirt, same hairstyle, I think.
Yeah, it'd be very. I kind of. Obviously, I said at the beginning, I'd much rather the team of Feelgood Knights was the team. Kind of with some of these segments, I'm kind of going, I can understand why, but I still think the comedy would be just as good if it was Feelgood and Knight, but I kind of understand a little bit.
Yeah, it would be different. So the point of these is to make it in the FWA. Stevie Knight needs to stop being lazy and step up his technical game, like become the type of wrestler you associate with the FWA rather than the type of wrestler that he is.
Well, I mean, if we look back at it TV style wise, like when was the last time that Stevie and Mark were a tag team before this?
They weren't.
I'm sure
they never have been. They never have been.
Were.
And they were put together as a rib on Sloan because he hated Stevie Knight. And it was funny, through doing this, they actually became friends.
Well, you got to push them together to then make them friends, I guess. I'm just sure that they were a tag team in one of the appearances, but no, completely. Oh,
nope.
There we go.
So Voidman John sets up the main event. Doug Williams valiantly defending the FWA title against Alex Shane's mystery wrestler. And in the little inset screen, we can see that Williams is already in the ring. We get a glimpse of Greg Lambert's friend / co-promoter Mark Kay handing Morecambe Atkins an envelope. He opens it. As Nick London says, this feels like the Oscars. John announces that Doug's opponent is Joe E. Legend. Yeah, it's not really worth the mystery envelope reveal, is it?
Joey Legend, also known as Bluto Belushi, Dragon, Just Joe, Legend in TNA, which he currently was, because I'm pretty sure he was a red shirt security.
Yes, he was.
Master Joe Storm, Joe Megalodon. All these names, I was like, is this just... I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an interesting name for the time, and, you know, I've had experience with Joe Legend, he's a lovely guy. This just felt like out of absolute nowhere, like a guy who was just in the country.
Star of ITV Celebrity Wrestling.
That hasn't happened yet. Yeah, as Nick London says, he's a former WWE competitor, jobber, and former NWA Tag Team Champion, but leaves out that was only for a week. I think he lived in Germany for a really long time. I think he still lives in Germany.
Yeah, he still
wrestles
does.
there now. He was having matches in Germany last month. I also once bumped into him at Baker Street Tube Station about a year after this. Yeah, so that's it. It's Doug Williams versus Joey Legend. And I like the close-up of Doug's face as he basically goes, all right then, guess I'll fight this bloke. Referee is your mate Youngie, Andrew. Richard Young.
Oh, happy days.
Yep. Nick London calls Doug a wrestling grunt whose job it is to hold a title and give it credibility, whereas it's Shane's job to make the big picture decisions about the company and who gets shots at that title. He says Doug went against that by backing Shane into a corner over Steve Corino on the first episode, and now it's time for Shane's retribution. And Combs also talks about how Doug making the save for Aviv Miami plays into the situation as our two lads do some heavyweight grappling and we fade to the break. Out of the break, Legend's in control and he's laying in these overhand forearms into the chest of a kneeling Williams and then drops him with a running boot to the face. Joe does a top rope leg drop, but Williams kicks out of repeated covers. Legend goes for the boot again, but Doug catches the foot and spins him into a released German suplex. Crowd solidly behind Doug Williams. Like, they don't care that they don't know the name Joey Legend. They care that the guy they like is fighting a baddie. That's what matters in Morecambe. Williams batters Joe with knees for a 2 count, and he heads up top for the bomb scare knee drop, but Legend gets up and charges the corner. Williams leaps over him and runs back in, only to get chucked into the ring post and clamped in a crossface variation, and Legend takes the first fall when Doug goes out and Youngie does the 3 drops of the arm. On commentary, Tony Giles says, Doug Williams has lost by Doug Williams. Tremendous insight, Tone, well done.
That is WWE SmackDown Just Bring It like commentary, where it's like Taz is going for the Taz mission and it's Taz who's saying it.
Yes.
Jesus.
So Williams doesn't get off the mat during the rest period, and when they restart, Joe just stamps on the back of his head and tries pinning him. Legend continues working over the head and neck with a knee drop, a karate roundhouse kick to the temple, and a backdrop suplex. Doug kicks out and Joe argues with both the ref and the crowd over the count. Williams gets a couple of shots in, but runs into a twisting neck breaker and another 2 count. Commentary debate over whether Canada is in America or not. Nick London is shocked to find out it's a separate country. Does it have its own currency and own king or president? Tony, you look horrified, he says. The match spills to the floor where Williams again gets some shots in but gets whipped into the post. Doug plays dead, Joe can't move him and the ref calls for help. Legend decides he's going to be the one to help and hauls Williams back into the ring. Doug kicks out of a shit version of Go to Sleep, avoids a moonsault and staggers back up and fights. He goes for the Revolution DDT, but Joe slips out of it into a crossface. Doug's arm, though, this time round is in the wrong place for him to get on the same variation as before, and the champ gets a foot on the ropes to force the break. Williams slams Joe off the top and goes up again for the bomb scare. Joe cuts him off but gets shoved down. Legend again avoids the knee drop but runs into the Revolution DDT for the equalizer and a big child-voiced pop. There were lots of very young voices cheering for Doug Williams, I noticed. Nick London says the King of Canada, who is obviously watching this show, won't be happy that Legend has to wrestle another fall and that this one can go either way. And we go into the final ad break. Ding ding, deciding fall, and we get a great close-up of a sweaty, bright red Doug Williams beckoning Legend on, going, come on, you mother! This has cracked me up for 20 years, particularly because I put it in a music video and it makes me laugh every time it comes up. Williams is now fired up and Joe is now the one who looks uncertain. A complete role reversal from the beginning of the match. They hit each other with simultaneous forearms, clotheslines and big boots and go down. Legend charges into a back elbow in the corner, a kick and a lovely flying knee out of the middle rope. Joe elbows out the Chaos Theory. Williams tries to pop up over him again in the opposite corner, but is too tired and collapses, for real by the look of it. So Joe sets up for a tombstone, which is of course illegal in the FWA. They reverse it a couple of times. Doug ends up on Joe's back and Legend just flings him backwards in a move that's not as cool as I think he is, and thankfully Doug kicks out and that wasn't the end of the FWA title. Joe kicks out of reverse DDT, so Williams seemingly hooks him for one off the middle, but Joe reverses it into a backpack stunner and Williams has to drape his foot on the rope again to escape the pin. Legend knees Doug in the head in the corner, but Doug runs out into a sit-out powerbomb for another near fall. And he goes back up top for the drop bomb scare, but Shane Security's Leroy Kincaid runs out and shoves Doug off the top to the floor. Legend is disqualified and Doug Williams wins. After the match, Alex Shane hits the ring and all three heels beat Doug down. Stone low blows Doug and the henchmen heave him up onto Alex's shoulders for the one night stand. Legend then curb stomps Doug's head onto the title belt. Williams gigs. Shane rubs the cut into the faceplate and so there's blood all over the belt. He makes an attempt at writing AS in blood on Doug's back. I did know he had to point out what he had written. His actual words are AS, show stealer. Not quite right. And he picks up this blood-covered belt and shows it to the camera, and we go off the air with a close-up of a bloody Doug Williams back in the crossface, with Shane holding the belt right in front of his face and yelling at him. This angle is much heavier than I remember it being. Maybe because this time around I clocked how many kids were in the crowd. But yeah, like they batter Doug. He gets nothing and he's left a mess.
Yeah.
I think the match is solid meat and potatoes heavyweight stuff. I like it now more than I did then. Maybe because I cut out a lot of whatever Joe did in the first fall. I think Joe's a good enough worker, but he's not a massively interesting personality. And he was really just sort of a warm body for the angle. But this is like, I gave this the standard FWA 3 stars. Willing to hear other opinions.
Yeah, two and a quarter, meat and potatoes. Obvious scoreline, so if you had your bet on 2-1, you were getting to the pay window as ever.
It's another, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not spectacular match, right?
Yeah. Plus, if they're using Joey Legend down the line again, he's got, I beat Doug by submission. I've got to fall over him, and we can have another one-off match.
Yeah,
down the line. Angle were good at the end. Obviously, getting over Big Al as the the champion in waiting.
Mm-hmm.
But,
it was kind of interesting though. Obviously, it was a title match it was contested title match when obviously Alex is wanting the belt. So like if Joe had won it, then it would have been a bit kind of okay. But
I think the plan among the heels was never to have Joe actually win.
Well, we can obviously talk about that when one of the stars of Sky One's hottest show from the 26th of January to the 29th of March 2004, Britain's Hardest, Leroy Kincaid comes out.
Yeah. Have you seen that, Eddie?
I watched it. I am going to plug someone else quickly. Frantic Planets episode of Britain's Hardest. Great stuff. Yeah,
that's really good.
Steve McFadden presenting it and having nothing to do with the actual events other than just being told to stand behind a background that looks hard enough and just say stuff.
Stand in front of this warehouse and say things like, these men like punching stuff.
Yeah, just light something on fire in the background and go, hard.
Finger was involved as well, wasn't he? In the Machine Freeman, I guess.
Yes, he was, yeah.
Yeah.
If all roads lead to Blackburn in some way on this show. I was watching and I'm like, well, okay, it's kind of standard stuff. It's nothing of any special. The end, it kind of got to where it needed to be, and what happened at the end was quite well done. Obviously, Doug gets the win because Leroy interferes. Mm-hmm. And the rubbing the bleeding face on the belt was quite a kind of strong angle to send it home. Kind of, for the first time, he's been busted open, and obviously Alex is a threat because, he is, he's been on a warpath and he's very rarely lost. So, I just thought the match was a bit drab. No offense to either of them, it just wasn't for me. But the end segment was great, and Britain's hardest, Leroy Kincaid. What a guy!
Overall, I think these are two decent episodes. I think there's lots of storyline development across these two episodes.
Yeah.
Especially in trying to, it feels a bit rushed, but the Sloane Knight relationship gets a lot of development on this episode.
Yeah. I think you kind of have to, because as you mentioned as well, we already, because of John Atkins telling us everything that's going to happen, we need to. It would have been good if they did like a segment where it's like Stevie Knight's like, well, Dirk's not done anything for me and I'm not trusting George, I need to find a partner, and then he bumps into like Sloane and goes, right, let's go.
I think you're right. There should have been some sort of bridging segment to go from him being a comedy jobber the previous week to like actively seeking out someone who can really help him, like realizing that the lower card guys aren't going to help him, and he's going to have to go to the torturer of the FWA Academy to help him get the job done.
Yeah, and like one of the things as well, and it works with the segment when he's saying, obviously, like, I'm a former tag team champion and stuff like that. So we have the story of now how he wants to win the belt because he's a former tag team champion. It's just, let's have a small thing where they figure out how we're getting to this. But I think, like, as you say, character development on these shows, it's one of those ones where it plods along, it gets what needs to be done, because obviously we're on the road to British Uprising III.
Yeah. And along those lines, like, Xavier beats Vanson for the first time on TV to solidify his stake for an All England title shot.
He doesn't look like a dumb babyface for once. Like,
no, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
No. We get confirmation of the Styles tie rematch, and then all that drama of the Alex Shane and Doug Williams angle. Plus, I think I'm the highest man on the Doug and Joey Legend match. And I think both matches on episode 28 are worth watching. The 6-man is definitely worth watching. Like, you could still put that on now.
Yeah,
exactly the same. So I wanted to play the old age game with that match. Who do you think the oldest person in the match is?
Between Joe and Doug, jeez.
No, not Joe and Doug. In the 6-man. Who's the oldest person in the 6-man?
Aid Vanson.
Because both Sticks and Stones look like they've had a really rough paper round.
Yeah.
So Andy, you're going for Hay Vanson?
Yeah.
I'll go with Sticks.
The answer is Ross Jordan.
Jesus.
He is a whopping 23 years old.
Sticks is 19.
No, so all of the heels and Jack Xavier are 22. Jordan is 23 and Aviv Mayan is 20. And they put together that match.
Well, Ross Jordan, 3 years probably, said, guess I'm taking the round, kid.
He is, I think he's only the oldest by, I think, 4 or 5 months over Sticks. But yeah. Yeah, wow. I was amazed when I found that out. It's crazy, isn't it?
I was going to say, it's sort of like some like Chelsea Wonder Kids, innit? Coming up, right?
We've come back to this a few times. The FWA roster, on average, is really young. Don't forget, Alex Shane is 24 years old and the managing director and lead heel of this company. Doug is 33, I think, at this point. Like, that's not old. The oldest person who has shown up is Drew McDonald, and he is quote unquote only 48 or whatever it is. If you compare that to like the top line of WWE now, and he's the outlier, like he is way older than everybody else.
Yeah,
most people are in their 20s and their early 20s of that. Stevie Knight's only fucking 28.
Jesus.
14 years, brother.
Yes. Yeah. It's insane how young everybody in this promotion is.
I mean, if you look at that 6-man, only 3 people in that are still wrestling?
Yeah.
As of kind of time of recording?
Yeah.
One of them's retired twice.
I mean, RJ, Sticks, and
Martin.
and Martin, Jesus.
Yeah.
And they're all that age then. It's just wild.
Yeah. It's mental, isn't it?
Yep.
So there are two more stories that lead into Uprising that haven't had airtime yet, and that show is obviously the focus. But what I also liked about these two episodes is when it comes to the immediate TV, we know that we're getting Sloan and Knight's team debut next week, Spud's debut in 2 weeks, Haid versus Carino, and eventually the big Shane-Carino showdown. I will break it to you now. We only have 2 podcasts of TV left to go, and then it's Uprising.
Ooh.
We only have 4 TV episodes left.
Uprising.
Yeah. Get out the hot lemon and honey and lube up those pipes for a chorus of Worlds Collide.
Now, just like
I am never going to use the phrase "lube up those pipes" again. I promise.
I was really about to say. Now, just to let viewers of the podcast know, the tickets are already on sale, but they're already sold out. So there's no chance of you guys making the show, I'm afraid. But there we go.
You've got to call the Sky Dome hotline. You just can't get them from the Wrestling Channel website.
Oh well.
Alrighty, I think that's it. Eddie, what's happening with the tournament and your legal issues and all that stuff?
Unfortunately, I've been taken unwell at the moment, so we everything's been on delay at the moment. If you've sent me an email and sent me a CV about a match, I'm not going to watch it because I can't be bothered just yet. But when I get back to being fighting fit, we'll probably watch it again. You can find me on X/Twitter on the odd occasion as Quadda Kicks Best. If anyone has the video of Stephen Fludder and Chris Masters knocking on a guy's door, trying to ask them for what's tell them to stop pirating PCW, please enter my DMs. I'm very interested, and a reward will be given. Other than that, you can follow. I'm occasionally on Blue Sky. I've not been on too much, but just because social media has been a bit of a shit show. But there.
All right.
And
Andy.
don't fucking listen to the Wrestlicious podcast I did with Grapple. It was shit. Thank you.
Wow. An anti-plug. All right.
I'm saving them.
Andy, have you done any shit podcasts you don't want anybody to listen to recently?
Shite.
Probably a couple of years ago, mate, I did some ones that you shouldn't listen to be honest. So it's a new year, and it's a new dawning of some more shite old British wrestling with myself and Kieran on Graps and Claps.
Mm-hmm.
As we delve into wrestling on Grampian, ITV Grampian. Hustle Muscle, as we also as we look at a combined total of minus 19 stars for 2 Big Daddy tag matches on that show.
That's true.
Giant A stacks, nerve holds aplenty. Just
and Squash is a rapist. We found out.
Yeah,
might have been the highlight of the whole show.
Yeah. So.
And by squashes, I don't just mean the wrestling sense. I mean he fucking flattens the guy. It's brilliant.
Yeah. So you can go and listen to that on all good podcasting platforms. And coming up as well, me and Kieran are looking at, Jackie Pallow's World of Wrestling.
It's wrestling around the world. I will say now, I have seen no more than the first 30 seconds of this program, which means I've got another 50 and a half minutes to go. I'm scared.
Thankfully, it's only 51 minutes long, so that should be a breeze to do.
As opposed to 3 hours of Big Daddy.
Ooh,
Hit your socials. Where can people find you?
GCP Podcast 1 on X, and also myself at Oggy Part 3. And also go and check me out on Instagram, Andy Ogden 1984, to check which pub I'm in.
You can find everything to do with this show at linktr.ee/FWApod. We are on Twitter, unfortunately, Blue Sky and YouTube at FWApod, and Instagram at FWA.pod. As for me personally, I am at Kieran Edits on Blue Sky. Thank you very much for listening. Next month, the countdown is over, and there's 2 things you can do about it.